Hi everyone, my name is Laura Mahana and I am a breast cancer survivor, and through Forward Warriors in Pink's initiative I was sent to Wanderlust, where I got to experience yoga and talk to people about yoga and breast cancer, and that's where I met Derek. I took one of his yoga self-rolling, self-body massage classes, and I noticed very quickly that some of the things that we were doing in that class were directly related to what my doctors keep telling me to do in my breast cancer recovery through all the surgeries that I had. So we sat, we talked about how rolling can really help breast cancer patients and survivors, and here we are where we want to share all of this great technique and great experience with all of you. So Derek?
Thank you so much. Yeah, so I'm glad you had such a great time at Wanderlust, and I'm glad that some of this work was really applicable to you. So we got talking and we decided to make a set of videos for breast cancer survivors to aid in the recovery process. There's a lot of things your body goes through, there's a lot of sort of challenges that a lot of self-massage or self myofascial release could be helpful towards. So we're gonna start with a pretty simple chunk of foam rolling that's gonna help get a little mobility to the shoulders, a little more movement to the arms, and start to release some of the tension in the chest and the tension in the back. So we've got these rad rollers here. I love this company, I love these tools, and as you're beginning, you don't necessarily have to start with them. They're sort of perfectly designed for what we're gonna do. There's this rad roller, which is a double ball. This is a really nice one. It can be a little intense for when we're first getting started, so we're gonna go with the Helix, this other form of a double roller, foam roller. It's sort of our version of a foam roller. Again, if you're just getting started, you could also use a very soft, and I can't emphasize that enough, a very soft, regular foam roller can do what we're gonna do. So we're gonna work between the shoulder blades. So I'm gonna turn around. Quick anatomy lesson, just in case. Your shoulder blades, your scapula, are two sort of triangular shaped bones that sit here right at the back of the rib cage. And they surround or they flank the spine. We're working at this space in between the shoulder blade and the spinal column. So again, you know, these double rollers would kind of nestle in right there. This Helix will do the same thing. This is what I like about having this divot in the center. But basically what I want to do is work anywhere between the shoulder blades up and down the back. We're going to avoid down here in the lower back, and we'll kind of get to that later. So have a block or a pillow nearby to support your head if that will be helpful. But basically scoot forward a tiny bit, and then Laura's going to roll down to her back and try to land right on the double roller. We'll give this block for her head. Her feet are going to go flat on the ground, her knees towards one another. And then I just want you to start by crossing your elbows out in front of you and give yourself just a nice hug. Now, you can go sort of as much as your current range of motion will allow. If you're stacking forearms, that's great. If you can get all the way to elbows, that's awesome too. Once you get here, just give yourself this little rock of your chest from side to side. I kind of like to think of this, okay, so like remember when you're in high school and you go up against the lockers and you give yourself a big hug and you pretend like you're making out with somebody? That's what you're doing right now. And so do this now with the vigor of a 17-year-old who doesn't know that you're supposed to be going any slower. Perfect. From here, you can lift your butt up, scoot your butt a little forward, scoot your butt a little back, so you're both getting a little rock up and down the spine, and you're getting this spilling of the weight into one side and spilling of the weight into the other side. You can do this, you know, I would say give yourself a couple of minutes here. 2 to 5 minutes would be nice. Finish with reaching your arms up to the ceiling, and then give yourself just a little roll of the shoulder blades around. You can widen your hands, you can bring the palms together. You could do this sort of like, you know, 1950s style Gidget dance. That's also one of my favorites. You could do the doggy paddle. Really any, a little slower though. Any gentle movement of the arms will feel really nice here, and start to just get some blood, some hydration back into that space between your shoulder blades and your spine. When you're done, cross your elbows again, maybe the other way, give yourself another hug. And then all you're going to do is roll off to your side. Draw your knees to the left, roll over, press yourself up to a seat. And there you have it. So that's our first set, simple shoulder mobilization, getting into the space of the medial border, so the inside of the shoulder blade, and just getting the chest a little bit of extension, a little bit of opening across the front of the body. How do you feel?